And welcome back to Hardball Sports Talk, brought to you by Hardball Sports Media. My name is Brandon, and with me, like always, is my good friend Alex. Alex, how are you today?
Ahoy, Brendan. Good. I forgot to fix my mic before we started, so off to a great start.
You know, hopefully we have better technical luck today than we did yesterday with my Wi-Fi. I
Yeah.
turned off the Wi-Fi on my phone already, and I am home alone right now. So, crossing our fingers that
You
this is
didn't
a magic recipe.
you didn't fire up the hamster to keep that wheel going? Get the faster internet?
No, it's too cold for the hamster up here right now.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Uh, So yesterday we talked to you guys. We did our sports bucket list. That was a lot of fun with Jake. We'll have to have him on again. We have a lot of ranking episodes in the future with a lot of different things, with like movies, sport. We already did sporting events, kind of, but sporting events we'd like to go to. Favorite logos. So we have, and I have a list on my phone and my computer of different ideas we have. So we have lots of ideas for you guys. But if there's anything you want us to cover, either ranking wise or a story that you see, like, hey, we want your guys' opinion on this, drop it in the comments or email us at hardballsportstalk@gmail.com and we'll get right on it. We don't have a whole lot of requests so far, so chances are we'll talk about it, unless if it's something we absolutely don't know anything about, but we will try our best to cover it.
I say we'll still talk about it. We'll probably give
Yeah.
horrible opinions, but we'll still talk about it.
Yeah. Somebody the other day asked me out and about, hey, why don't you guys talk about basketball? I go, because neither of us know anything about basketball. We wanted to do something about the in-season tournament because we thought it was the stupidest thing we've ever heard,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't have enough opinion in basketball to really know what we're talking about. So that's why we don't do a whole lot of basketball. But moving on, we're going to try to keep things a little bit faster today, not do an hour and a half like we did last night. Try to get you guys out here a little bit quicker today. We're going to do our NFL Week 18 game picks. Lots of interesting matchups this week. We normally do this on Wednesday night because of Thursday night football. And while prepping for this, I noticed something. There's no Thursday night football this week, which I should have thought about that ahead of time. There's no Thursday night because playoffs start next week and you don't want a team basically off for a week and a half and then going into the playoffs, assuming the team playing Thursday night makes the playoffs, that is obviously. So everyone's
Right.
playing Saturday or Sunday this week. I noticed this probably like an hour ago when I was just doing my last game picks. So we probably could have done this episode a little bit later in the week, but we already planned it for tonight and booked our schedules for it. But probably going forward in the playoffs, I'll talk it over with Alex, but I'll probably adjust the schedules just because we don't need to be doing anything for Thursday Night Football in the playoffs. So, but we'll keep you guys updated on that. But this week, we'll get started here. The first game this week is Saturday at 4:30. It is the Steelers and the Ravens. The Steelers, I believe, need to win for the to make the playoffs. Let me look here. I got this. We'll go through
Okay.
the playoff scenario. We'll go through that later after.
Okay. I say I
But
have it right here if you want me to tell
yeah,
you.
I'm pretty sure the Steelers need to win plus probably some help.
Yeah, they need at least 5 different ways to get in or help, I should say. Um, do you want me to tell you what they are,
Yeah,
Brandon?
yeah,
Okay.
I would love you to tell me.
Sure. This is let's see. Out of all the teams, oh no, Green Bay has more. Out of all the teams that are trying to clinch this weekend, they are tied with the most ways to clinch a playoff berth. So the first one is obviously they got to win, and they need a Buffalo loss. The second way is they need a win. They need Jacksonville to either lose or a tie, which we haven't had a tie yet in NFL
Not this
this
season, I
year,
don't
have we?
believe. I think last
Yeah,
year we had 2 or 3.
yeah, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, Another way they get in is if they win, obviously, and Houston and Indiana tie in their game, or if Pittsburgh somehow ties their game, they need Jacksonville to lose and Houston to Indiana doesn't end in a tie. So I guess whoever wins that one, plus Jacksonville lost, plus Pitts tie, they're in. And the final one is if Jacksonville lose, they need Denver to win, and they need Houston and Indiana to not end a tie.
Okay. So
So,
there's
yeah, they need a lot of help.
yeah. And they're playing Baltimore, who has the number one seed locked up. Baltimore, I saw on ESPN's headlines today, is resting Lamar Jackson. I don't know how many starters they're going to rest, though, because in 2019, I believe it was, they had the number one seed, and week 17 at the time, they rested all their starters, had the bye, and lost to Tennessee in their first playoff game.
I
How much?
know, sorry, not to interrupt. I know
No, you're good.
some of the players, they have their bonus incentives that they need in this game, so I think some of them are trying to push to start the game. I know, not that I really care for him. Odell needs, I think a couple more touchdowns or yards or something, and he gets a bonus. I believe Isaiah Likely, their tight end, needs a couple more catches to get their bonus. No, don't forget that they actually have a pretty good quarterback who has similar gameplay than.
Is Hunley still there?
Yeah, Huntley's there. I think he's
Okay.
getting the start this weekend.
Yeah.
So, he's probably one of the better backups, and he definitely fits Baltimore's system because of Lamar.
Oh,
He
yeah.
can, like I said, he's at, not better than Lamar, but to slide him in there, I don't think Baltimore's too worried about uh that huge drop off that most teams see when they don't have their starter in.
No, but Baltimore at the same time isn't worried about this game per se. But the
Right.
Baltimore Pittsburgh rivalry is one of the bigger rivalries in the NFL.
Mhm.
It's probably top five for sure.
Yeah.
So if you have a chance to win the game and knock out your biggest rival from the playoffs, now I understand Pittsburgh could probably make it in with, I think we said, with the loss, but they need a lot of help with the loss. So I think Baltimore's going to play to win this game. Now, granted, you're not going to play Lamar. We already established that. But there's enough guys still on that roster that I think Baltimore, especially on that defensive side of the ball, I think Baltimore's going to beat Pittsburgh here with their backup quarterback even. So
Yeah.
I'm taking Baltimore to win this game.
Yeah, I think they're going to be focused going into the playoffs. One thing that I will comment on too, and you just said about knocking your rivals out of the playoff. Look at us in the Lions last year.
Yep.
Seattle was very upset that they didn't get the evening game. They were hoping that the Lions played at the same time. So a lot of their fans were saying, "Oh, Lions will have nothing to play for." When you can go and knock your rival out of the playoffs, when you that's what you're playing for, and you do it, it's a great feeling. And
Yeah.
you saw that in the game last year. That's what they really enjoyed doing, was sending the Packers and Aaron Rodgers
I
home.
mean, Dane Campbell even said it in the interview during the game with whatever NBC reporter was
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
The reporter's like, "How are you guys motivated tonight?" Oh, we're not going to the playoffs, but they're not going either.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
So you just know that you don't want to see your rival get in because they beat you. You rather
yeah,
send them home, even if you're not getting in. So I'm with you
yep.
on this one. I think Baltimore is gonna stay focused and beat Pittsburgh.
Next game on Saturday, we got the Houston Texans versus the Indianapolis Colts. Both teams are at 9-7, and Jacksonville is also at 9-7. All three teams are obviously still in the race for the AFC South crown. I believe Jacksonville is the most simple. If they win, they get it. If they lose, which they play Sunday against
Tennessee.
Tennessee, if Tennessee wins that game, then the winner of this game wins the division.
Yep.
That's the simplest. And then all three teams can clinch wild card spots too, depending on how things go. But my game pick for this one, I really like Houston. I think CJ Stroud is the real deal. He's the lock to win NFL Rookie of the Year. So, and then Indianapolis, they've had a heck of a season, but I just think with CJ Stroud and company, they have a lot of injuries, but at this time of the year, I think everyone's dealing with a lot of injuries. So I think Houston knows the better team and is going to win this game.
I'm gonna go opposite of you. I'm gonna take the home team on this one. Um, I like you said, they're both playing for the title, and playoff spot. So I'm just gonna give the slight edge to the home team.
Yeah. Next game we got Sunday afternoon. We got the Brownies versus the Bengals. The Browns 11-5 make the playoffs. Bengals 8-8. I believe they're still in the race. I could be wrong on that though. Do you see their name on the
Who? Sorry,
Cincinnati?
you kind of cut out. I do not see him on here as a way to clinch anything, nor are they in the current playoffs.
Well, yeah, I'll click on playoff probabilities here.
Yeah.
Nope, they are out. Looks like so.
Yeah.
So the Bengals looks like they're out of the playoffs. So nothing really to play for really either team here, as the Browns cannot win the division, and they're they're locked up the 5 seed. So neither team really has a whole lot to play for here. I'm taking Cleveland just because that defense is something ferocious. No, I'm sure like Myles Garrett and all their big starters aren't going to be playing, but I just like the depth of Cleveland more than where Cincinnati's at right now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. And I know we did talk about this at some point. I don't think we ever talked about it more off air about the awards. I don't know if we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about that at some point.
Well, I think we'll do that Monday.
Okay. Well, anyways, you got my comeback player of the year in Joe Flacco leading the way. Browns are gonna win this game.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked though, to be completely honest with you. As crazy as it sounds, if they sat Joe Flacco, because like I said, they're not really, they can't go up because Baltimore has clinched the 1 seed, so they can't win the division, and they have 11 wins. I'm pretty sure there's no way they can go down to the 7 seed.
You're correct on that.
So I'm pretty sure they're stuck at the 5 seed. So I wouldn't be shocked if they stressed a lot of starters, but like I said, I like their depth more. I mean, and their coaching staff, and like you said, Joe Flacco comeback player of the year. But when we get to the rewards on Monday, Kevin Stefanski is going to win coach of the year.
I just looked it up. They are going to rest Joe Flacco and start Jeff Driscoll against the Bengals.
Yeah.
After so, but either way, I'm taking Cleveland in this one for the Battle of Ohio.
Yep. Next, we got the Vikings and the Lions. The Vikings, I believe, have the slimmest of chances still to make the playoffs. They need a lot of help, though. The Lions have the division clinched. They have a chance for the 2 seed. They need some help for that. They need both Philly to lose and Dallas to lose, which I don't see both those teams losing this week. But like we said with the Baltimore game, the Lions last year, they knocked out the Packers in the playoff race by beating them last week of the season. I see Dan Campbell having the same mentality this season. Okay, we got another division rival. Let's make sure they don't go dancing with us too. So I'm taking Lions to win this game here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. And the way that the Minnesota can clinch the playoffs too, like you said, they need a lot of help. Obviously, they need to win, but they need Green Bay, Seattle, and Tampa Bay all to lose, or they need Green Bay, Seattle, and New Orleans to lose. So if they win, they need a lot of help. If they lose, they're out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Detroit. I think they said they're not sitting anyone, right? Did you see that?
I haven't seen anybody being sat.
Okay.
The only thing I've seen with roster is, and this happened yesterday, we should have brought it up yesterday, is they released Isaiah Buggs, the defensive tackle. They haven't signed anybody to the active roster, which probably means that one of the guys off the IR is coming back.
I think it was McNeil was coming back. Him, Gardner Johnson, and I think there was one more that we're planning on returning.
James Houston.
Yeah. So, yeah. So he's released. But yeah, I'm taking the Lions in this home game.
Next, we got Jacksonville versus Tennessee. Like we said a few minutes ago, Jacksonville wins. They win the conference or division. Excuse me. Tennessee, they've had not a great season. Jacksonville, on the other hand, the last 5-6 weeks has not looked very good. Trevor Lawrence has been dealing with an ankle injury. With all that being said, though, This is why you draft a quarterback number one overall is for games like this. So I see Jacksonville winning. Uh, I think there's just too much talent with Trevor Lawrence. I think he steps up and carries this team to victory this week and wins the division. So I'm taking Jacksonville here on the road.
Yeah, it's different, but in a way, Lawrence has been here winning a couple of the playoff in the college football and winning the title, especially that drive. I don't remember which one it was. Anyways, he's got somewhat of the experience. And like you said, they're playing for the division title. I think Jacksonville's going to pull this out.
Next game we have has zero playoff implications. We got the Jets and the Patriots. Jets are at 6-10 after their season ended in the fourth play of the season versus the Patriots, who I will be shocked if this is not Bill Belichick's last game in New England. With that being said, though, Bill Belichick has owned the Jets, and so I think he's going to go out in New England with a victory against the Jets. So I'm taking the Patriots here to win, only because Bill Belichick beats the Jets every time they play.
Yeah, I trust Belichick, even though he doesn't have the talent or the QB anymore, over Robert Saleh and all that talent. Like you said, Bill Belichick has their number, and I think he does it again.
Next, we got the Falcons and the Saints. This is another one of those games with a lot of playoff implications. Both teams are still alive for the division. I believe if Tampa Bay wins against Carolina, which is the next game we'll talk about, they win the division. If they lose, the winner of this game wins the division. I believe that's how it goes.
Let's see. Yep. So, yeah, Tampa Bay, if they win, they get the South title.
Yep.
If somehow they tie and New Orleans loses or they tie, then Tampa Bay still gets the title.
Okay. So in the New Orleans Atlanta game, I'm taking the Saints. It's a home game for the Saints. I don't trust Arthur Smith. I don't trust the quarterbacks for Atlanta. Honestly, I don't really trust its quarterbacks for the Saints either, but
Yeah.
this game's in New Orleans, so I'm taking the Saints at home.
Yep. This is one of those coin flip games that I like to talk about, and give me New Orleans.
Next, we got Tampa Bay at Carolina. Carolina, I'm guessing you've seen with their owner gotten fined $300,000 for spilling a drink on Jaguars fans last week.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny, kind of petty at the same time.
I guess I can ask you that. Do you think that was enough as a punishment for him?
No, but the NFL can't do anything.
They could take away a good draft pick.
I mean, I guess, but Goodell, he doesn't want to take off the owners because that's who his boss is. Like Goodell he's paid by the bosses or the owners.
Yeah, he's the voice of the owners. So
yeah. So if you're basically disciplining an owner too much, you're gonna basically have an angry owner at you, and then he could get some other owners angry at you, and you're gone. So they're always gonna now. There's exceptions to that rule, but I mean, they're not gonna do a whole lot to him. I guess you could have said, "Hey, you can't go to the game on Sunday."
Why?
But
he's the owner of the team.
I mean, but
I know what's he gonna say? You can't go to your own team. Like people were saying that too. It's like,
there is precedent for that. I don't know if the NFL, but different sport, I understand that. But like, and totally different context too. I understand that. But with the Clippers, what was that? Last 10 years, that Donald Sterling.
Yeah,
they basically said, no, you just stay away. You might own the team right now, but we're going to take that away. And again, I'm not saying don't take these drastics. It's a totally different scenario here. But so there's precedent in sports for suspending owners. And I believe recently an owner got suspended. I don't remember who, though.
Well, it took him a while, but
yeah,
it was the Washington owner. I can't think of his name.
Oh, Snyder.
Snyder, yeah. I mean, like how long he fought off them and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I was just curious if you thought that was that much. If
I mean,
trying to punish him, I mean that's like chump change for him.
Yeah, I didn't think. I saw the video and I'm like, okay, this is nothing. So I didn't. $300,000 is whatever. I don't really care about punishment.
Yeah. But when they're talking about how he has to stay away from, can't go to the game. I don't know.
I mean,
Like,
not for this, but I'm saying for like if you do
yeah,
more.
no.
And then his apology was absolutely hilarious too,
Oh, you mean the apology that he never said sorry in?
and that he blamed NFL security.
Yeah, yeah, that's
But
great.
moving on, I think we're both taking Tampa Bay in this game.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Next, we got the Bears, who a lot of people thought were going to be the sleeper team this year. I never saw the hype for that against the Packers, who very simply win and they're in. And I did not see that scenario at all for the Packers. I thought this would be a down year for the Packers. I didn't think, especially with how it started. So kudos
Yeah.
to LaFleur and Jordan Love and company for even being in this spot. Chicago, those have been playing really good football. And we've talked about it with 2 other games now. What better way to end your biggest rival? And this is the biggest rivalry in the NFL.
Hmm.
There's no better rivalry than the Bears and Packers. What better way to end your season than knocking off your rivals? It's not going to happen, though. Packers win in this game at Lambeau.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. But say that they do lose to Chicago,
I would love that so much.
it'd be great.
It
They
would be
need a
amazing.
lot of help. Um, Basically, if they can somehow tie Chicago, they have a chance. But the other, I guess, easy way you could say is they need Minnesota to lose, they need Seattle to lose, and they need either Tampa Bay or New Orleans to lose.
Yeah,
So
so
the room for if they lose, well, I guess the game's at 4:25, so they'll already know their fate, um, based on the other 2 teams.
Seattle plays at 4:25 too, but
Right.
so but
Anyways, yeah,
I don't see the Packers losing this game,
like you
but
said,
that'd be great.
they're gonna win in Lambeau, so
Yeah. Next game we have the Denver Broncos traveling to Las Vegas to face the Raiders. The Broncos benched Russell Wilson last week for Jared Stidham, and they're going to stick with Jared Stidham here to close out the season. The Raiders, both teams are out of playoff contention, I believe. So I'm going to take the Raiders at home. I just like how the Raiders are playing right now for is it Anthony Pierce, their
Pierce, yeah,
coach. Yeah,
yeah,
I almost said Anthony Lynn. That's something completely different.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. This team has definitely rallied around, Pierce. Players see it, and I know we talked about it earlier, but he's obviously the leading candidate for the Raiders head coach if they don't screw up again like they did last time. Um, I think the team responds to him well. I think he's gonna have him, you know, no days off for them. I think they're gonna end up winning this game as well.
yeah. Next, we have the Eagles versus the Giants. The Eagles got beat last week by the Arizona Cardinals, which was probably one of the bigger upsets of the season. The Giants have had a disaster of a season also with all their quarterback injuries and inconsistent play at the position, and their offense has been a mess. Their defense hasn't been all that great. So the Eagles, I know we talked about this game a couple weeks ago on Christmas, and I said, hey, just watch out. I don't see that here. I know the Eagles just got beat by the Cardinals, but that might be the wake up call they need too. You see it every year in every sport where a team that has no business losing to somebody loses to them, and then it snaps them back and they dominate the next game. So that's what I see happening here with the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. I think they're gonna have a bounce back game. And they're still playing for, like you said earlier, Lions will need, but they're still playing for that number 2 seed right now. And they don't want Dallas to take it from them either. So
No.
give me Philadelphia in this game.
Next, we have the Seattle Seahawks uh, going down to play Arizona and the Cardinals. The Seahawks still in the playoff race. They need to win and some help. The Cardinals are 4-12. They are obviously not going to be in the playoff race. They'll have some interesting decisions to make during draft time, but that doesn't affect the game right now. I think Seattle wins this game. I like how Pete Carroll prepares his team. Geno Smith has had a really good couple seasons for Seattle. I think they win this game and keep their playoff hopes alive, even though they need some help to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they need to win. They need Green Bay to lose or tie. Basically, they'll find out well, no, they play both. Like you said, they
Yeah, they
both play
put
at 4:25,
yeah.
so they won't know their fate until that zero show up in the fourth quarter or whatever.
Yep.
But somehow, if they end up tying Arizona, they still need Green Bay to lose. And then they need Tampa and New Orleans to lose or tie. Um, but yeah, I got Seattle win this one. I think this was another incentive too for Geno Smith. If they make the playoffs, he gets more money in one of it. So I think he'll be ready and he'll be focused. So give me Seattle in this game.
Next, we got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chiefs are that one team that all season long I've been saying this is the week they're gonna get her going. This is the week they're gonna get her going, and they're 10-6. I believe they've won the division, so they've gotten it going enough. But this is not the Kansas City Chiefs of the last couple years. While the Chargers were without Herbert, they fired their coach a couple weeks ago. They're basically in free fall mode. So I'm going to take the Chiefs here to win just because the Chargers, I don't think, are in a good spot at all. And the Chiefs will probably sit players, but yeah, I just think the Chiefs are going to be more prepared than the Chargers will be at this point.
Yeah. I'm with you on that too. As like you were saying, the Chargers are the what happened to them as always. But I think the Chiefs will be ready. They'll be getting ready for their playoff opponent coming up here. Whoever that ends up being. So give me the Chefs on the road.
Next, we have the Rams at the 49ers. 49ers clinched the 1 seed, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're going to rest a bunch of players this week. The Rams, I believe they've clinched a playoff spot, and I believe they're probably stuck at 6. I don't think they can go up to 5. No, they can't because Dallas or Philadelphia will be the 5 seed, so they will be more than likely the 6 seed in the playoffs. So neither team really has any incentive here. With all that being said, though, Los Angeles is probably one of the, outside of Baltimore, is probably one of the hotter teams going into the playoffs right now. I'm not saying they're the best team. I'm just saying they're playing their best football at the right time.
Right.
So I'm going to take the Rams here to pull the win out here, assuming that the 49ers rest players. I'm going to take the Rams.
I'm still gonna take 49ers. I still think the Rams are on a hot streak right now, but I don't think the 49ers want to see them again in the playoffs, even though it would be at home in the playoffs. If
I don't
the
think I don't think anybody wants to see the Rams in the playoffs.
right,
And by the
but
way, things are shaping up to be, it looks like they'll be going to Ford Field in the first round. So
yeah, that's not good.
no,
Anyways, I'm gonna stick with the 49ers in this game.
yeah. Speaking of playoff football at Ford Field, I heard today that tickets are $500 for the cheaper end right now.
Hmm.
So if you want to go
Standing
to
room,
Ford
I'm
Field,
guessing.
yeah, they didn't say on the local Fox sports station they have one of the local guys giving sports updates, and he was saying it was $500, and I'm guessing it was on StubHub or whatever. I don't think that's directly from the Lions,
Right.
but anyways, moving on here. We got the Cowboys versus the Commanders. The Cowboys coming off a victory against the Lions last week. Some would call it controversial. We gave our takes on that last night. Versus the Commanders. I will be shocked if this is not Ron Rivera's last game as a head coach in the NFL. I'm going to take the Cowboys here. They're still playing for the 2 seed. They're still playing for the division. They're going to go all out and try to win this game, and I don't think they'll have any problems against the Commanders,
No.
especially since the Commanders traded away their 2 pass rushers.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm with you on that too. I can't. Does Washington have the worst offense in the league right now? Aren't they 32 overall? Am I thinking of another team?
They probably are up or down there.
I
I
remember.
haven't.
Yeah, I don't remember now. I saw something somewhere one time they were playing the worst offensive team against the worst defensive team. Um, at the time, obviously it changes weekly.
They might be
But,
the worst defensive team too, though, too, because
maybe
after they traded away,
that's probably
Sweat
what I'm
and
yeah. I
but, I
think
mean,
that's what I was thinking of.
their offense isn't anything special either, so,
Right, yeah, anyways, give me the Cowboys in this game. Washington is just they're done. They're done for. They're not gonna play.
no.
They'll play, but they're not gonna win.
And then finally, the last game we have this week is the Buffalo Bills traveling down to Miami to face the Dolphins. Not game related, but did you hear about Tyreek Hill today?
Yeah, I, saw that right before we came on. I can't imagine that.
No. So if you're not sure what we're talking about, when we're recording this Wednesday night, sometime Wednesday afternoon, Tyreek Hill's, excuse me, house caught on fire. Everything that I've seen online, it looks like it was a major fire. I don't know how much was lost. Thankfully, though, he and his family were not in the building at the time, so everyone is safe. That is by far the most important part of
Yes.
this. And
Yes.
it is a great reminder, too, that these are just games.
Mhm.
And so, yes, people's livelihoods are at stake with some of these with paychecks and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it is just a game. And that is a good reminder for us today with that fire. But it's still fun to watch them. So we're going to do that. So this one, the Bills and the Dolphins. The Bills, I believe, need to win for the playoffs here. Let's see. They are right now
Actually,
the
they need to win. Yeah, they need to win to get
yeah.
the title. And they
Okay.
actually clinch a playoff berth with, if they tie. Pittsburgh loss or tie, Jacksonville loss or tie, and Houston, Indiana tie.
According to NFL.com, they have an 86% chance of making a playoffs. If they lose, they have a 65% chance of making the playoffs. So, but if they win, they're obviously in, like you said.
Yeah.
I am taking the Dolphins to win this game, though. I think they're going to bounce back after that embarrassing loss to the Ravens last week. I I like what they got going on down in Miami. I like Mike McDaniel. I like Tua. I like their receivers. I like their running game. Buffalo, they've had a up and down season, and it's actually impressive that they've gotten to this point in
Yes.
the season. But I just like Miami more than Buffalo at this point, so I'm going to take the Dolphins to win this game.
Yeah, I like the team, um, that's more complete right now than all season than what Buffalo's been. So I'm gonna take Miami in this game as well.
So that is all we have for game picks this week. And we were going to talk about the playoff picture, but we basically covered that during every game. So that is pretty much all we had for you guys today, unless if you have something else you want to add.
We can talk off air about something.
Yeah. Um, so that is all we have for you guys today. We should probably do the Michigan game real quick. College football, just do because I
Oh
don't think
yeah,
because that's Monday. So we are
yeah.
not going off there yet. Give us 1 second. Monday we have the college football championship game: Michigan versus Washington. Michigan beating Alabama in overtime last game or on Monday night. Washington beating Texas in a very great college football game. We're both Michigan fans, so this is probably there's some bias in what we're about to say probably. But I was talking to a Coke rep today. I work for a distribution company who's selling drinks and stuff like that. And I ran into one of the Coke reps, and he and I were talking college football, and he goes, "What do you think?" I go, "It's completely different styles. One team wants to play first one to 70 wins. The first other team wants to play first team to 7 wins.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to see what style comes out. If Michigan can contain, not stop, but contain Washington's offensive attack, I don't think you can stop them, but I think you can contain them. I think Michigan will come out on top. If they're not able to contain them, I think it could be a long day for Michigan. But Michigan's defensive staff is very similar to Baltimore's defensive staff, since both Hardball brothers are coaching those two teams, and they probably bounce off ideas off each other. And I believe Baltimore's
Yeah,
defensive coordinator is also Michigan's defensive coordinator at one point too. So
yeah. So back before Mike McDonald's, who you're thinking of for the Ravens, when Harbaugh was looking to replace Don Brown. It was actually between he went to his brother, obviously, like, "Hey, man, what do I do here?" And he gave him 2 options, and it was Mike McDonald and Jesse Minter, who's the current defensive coordinator. Obviously, he went McDonald, and then Donald jumped to the NFL, and so he went out and got the other one that his brother said, Jesse Minter, and he's got this defense complete right now.
Yeah. So I think Michigan will be able to contain Washington. I think they'll win the game. I think it'll probably be around the range of 24-17 is my guess for final score. I think it's going to be a good game, one possession game. And I think Michigan will be able to slow down Washington.
All right, Brandon, good pick.
Hey, thanks. Not so fast.
Not so fast, my friend. This game actually scares me. Why? Because it reminds me a lot of last year's playoff game against TCU when Michigan constantly shot themselves in the foot. Don't get me wrong, but they tried to play the shootout game with TCU, who had an unbelievable offense, outside guys. That's the last thing Michigan needs to do against this Washington team. I know you didn't watch the Washington game, but I watched at least the first half, because it was probably close to midnight by the time it was halftime, and I was not staying up any longer. But some of the plays in the first half, when Texas had Penix locked up, they had their wide receivers locked up. Penix still threw frozen ropes to the receiver who was covered, and they still had that 50-yard bomb, 40-yard bomb completion. And that kind of what scares me right now.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because that was probably Penix's best game of his career, I would say.
Yeah.
Was leading, and he completed like I think 70% passes or whatever. So yeah, I think as much as it kills me to say this, I got Washington winning the national title.
Whoa, the Michigan man takes Washington.
Yeah,
But
I know.
So both games in the playoffs, you have gone against Michigan. That's kind of awesome. But that just shows you that we are not actually homers here. We actually do what we think. We actually pick what we think is going to happen. So obviously, we're both going to root for Michigan. So we both hope Alex is wrong. And Alex watches a lot more college football than I do, so he's probably got more knowledge on this than I do. But like I said, it's easier said than done. But if you can contain Washington's attack, and I know you just brought up TCU, which that is a real concern. But do you think Michigan has learned their lesson on and said, okay, we're not designed to do that. Let's just play our game.
Oh yeah, I think. Well, they tried doing that. Well, not the trying to keep up with them like they did last year. This year they kind of learned it, but they overcame adversity, which they didn't do last year.
Yeah.
Obviously the couple of muff punts, the horrible special teams play, kicking and punting,
Yeah.
and return punts and all that. Yeah, I think they know. I think it will be a good game. I still have Washington winning this game though.
I just hope it's a good game because, like we've said before, it feels like every college football playoff has one game that's just not close at all. At least one game. So hopefully this year we can avoid that as it is last year with the 4-team playoff. But that is all we have for you guys. And in fact, my wife is texting me right now that I got to go pick her up. So that is a good time to wrap. Yeah, this is a good time to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Be sure to like us on Facebook and Instagram. Links for that in the description.
Oh,
if this is your first,
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I kind of do, and I know you have to go, but I'll throw this out real quickly. The Lions Pro Bowlers have been announced.
Hey,
there's 5 of them going right now. That will
mean
that they're actually going in. They're actually playing. You got Jalen Reeves-Maybin, Aiden Hutchinson, Frank Ragnow, Penny Sewell, and Sam Laporta. And they have 8 alternatives. Jahmyr Gibbs, St. Brown are the first alternative. An alternative means if a running back is either in the Super Bowl or they don't want to go, these guys will be contacted first. Then you got Jared Goff as a second alternative, Jonah Jackson as a third alternative, David Montgomery and Khalif Raymond as fourth alternatives, and Alex Anzalone as a fifth alternative. So there's your Detroit Lions Pro Bowlers and their alternatives.
That is awesome. We'll have to do some research on that because I wonder when the last time a rookie tight end has been named to a Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do some research for that on you guys, and we'll get you an answer for that on Monday's episode when we do our predictions and our picks for NFL awards, and we'll probably have some reactions to NFL coaches getting fired because that Monday is Black Monday. Again, though, thank you guys so much for checking us out. Like I was saying, be sure to like us on Facebook and Instagram. If this is your first time checking us out, we appreciate it. We have a lot of fun around here. We hope you guys enjoyed our show, and I hope you guys come back. Be sure to tell your friends and family about us. Help us grow. We want to get this show growing fast. We have some prizes we want to give away for when it does pick up. So we'd love to get you guys more involved, so be sure to message us too. So thank you guys so much for checking out today's episode, and we will talk to you on Monday.